Alright guys, so today I want to go over how to set up a good loot filter for a build that you're trying to gear for. And we'll go over all of the rules that you want to put in your loot filter, and I will have some templates for you. So I have one which is a quick filter, which has only one rule per item that you want to find, it's per item slot. And then I have an advanced filter, which is a lot more rules. You'll have 3 rules per item, which will enable you to find a lot more items and be able to craft more and like find your gear faster, but it takes a little bit more time to set up. Both are almost identical, just one is more specific. So we'll go over the quick filter first. This is the quick and easy way. So the only thing I've changed between the two templates I have for you guys is the amount of rules that you have per item slot. So what I mean by this is like I will have 3 rules on the advanced filter for my chest piece, 3 rules for my belt, 3 rules for my boots, and stuff like that, right? As for the quick filter, you only have 1 rule for each slot. Um, so the first thing I always do in my filters is I hide all items. This enables me to start with a clean state. All you need to do for this is go here, do hide, and update it, right? And then you go for the next rule. I have recolor tier 19 drops. So this is good because you only need one craft to be able to get it to T20, and T20 items are 5 tier 5 affixes on it. So you never know when you might find a nice one that you haven't thought of, or maybe, hey, I've got this T20 item that I could use on my alt character or something like this. So you don't find that many, so that's why I kind of like having this here and be able to find just T20 items for free and see if I can use them somewhere on one of my characters, right? And then I have recolor low level filter. So this is a filter to recolor anything that you will use on your low level character, like while leveling up, getting to your actual build that you want to do. So if I would play, for example, a poison lich, I would go with poison affixes, so like poison damage, poison penetration. You could go for chance poison on hit. If it's you're using spells, you can go for spell damage, like adaptive spell damage and stuff like that. And if you only select affixes and no item type, it will show every single item that has that affix on it. So it will show, weapons, relics, rings, whatever. It will show any item with the affix on it. So that is what I do while leveling up. And when you don't want to show them anymore, you just uncheck this little box here, right? So that is how you do it for the low level filter. And then I have another one which will recolor important shards for shattering. And I write here, select your affixes. So basically everything that you need to do, it is written beside it. And then after selecting your affixes, you could just delete this, right? And then you would just have this, and you've already done your selection. Important shards for shattering here, I would go for stuff like, usually it's mostly like level, if you're playing skeletons, level of summon skeletons or whatever you want to see, or like rarer affixes like hybrid health, for example, that you pretty much always want to see if you need some more shards. So this is only here to show you the important affixes that you want to shatter to get the shards out of, right? And if you feel like you're finding too many level 1s, you can do advanced options, and tier of individual affixes must be. You can go for like more or equal than 3, something like this. So when you use a shattering rune and you want to save on shattering runes, for example, if you don't have that many, then you can have this shatter only the ones that are tier 3 or above, so they have more chances of getting more shards out of them. So that is, and this is pretty much how it looks. So this would be the low level leveling filter. This would be the shards filter, and this one would be the tier 19 plus filter. And then what I do is I show all unique, set, and exalted items, because you do want to see those. And I recolor T7 exalteds as yellow. So it's really easy to see when something drops at T7, and you're like, oh, this might be really, really good, because it's a T7 roll, right? You pretty much always want to look at those. And then for the quick filter, I have 1 rule per item slot. So what I do for this rule is I will select um, basically you select your affixes and subtypes, right? So you select your subtype. Let's say you would want to have, I want to see only silver rings because I want my movement speed, or you want to see only like coral rings because you want to get the vitality. Um, so yeah, you select whatever subtype that you want. And then for the affixes, you also select the affixes that you want. For example, we have rings here, so you could go for health, you know. Uh, of course, I already have this one selected. You would unselect this one and you would only select the affixes that you actually want. So added health, for example. Um, let's say you're using a poison build as well. So you would go for poison damage, and you could go for something like spell damage or something. You know, you can go for pretty much everything you want, as long as you know what build, what build you're using. You need to know the affixes that you want on your build, and for that, I strongly recommend using a build planner, which I will have a link in the description. Um, yeah, so basically you select all your affixes and it will show all the items with at least two of these affixes on the same item. This is for the quick filter. I found that showing all items with at least two of the selected affixes on the item won't show too many items, and they pretty much are all what you want to start crafting on. So early on, it's very good while building up to, like, of course when your build is finalized, you probably won't need like pretty much all of these. You will only want to see the exalteds, right? Um, but it's still very long till you get full T20 on any type of build. So finding all of these items with two affixes on them is going to be very beneficial, and it's very quick to do with the quick filter. And yeah, you'll be able to find all the items that you want for your build. When you finish selecting your affixes and subtypes, you can remove this, and it will just say recolor rings, right? So you do this for every single slot that you have here. Um, so you got, you know, rings, amulets, relics, gloves, boots, belt, chest, helm. You got the weapon, you got the offhand. Here you could also select, if you're dual wielding, you can select another weapon. So instead of catalyst, you would go like with your weapon, right? And then you've got the idols. Idols, select affixes in the idols category. So these are going to be idols for your class. So these are going to be class specific idols, which are going to be recolored the same color of anything else for your build. For example, this ring you would need for your build. As soon as you see something light blue like this, you pick it up because you know it's for your build. And if you see a capitalized thing like this, a capitalized item drop like this, you know it is an idol for your build as well, right? So that is why it is like this. And when you select your affixes in here, make sure that you are going all the way down into the idols category, right? Because if you select anything else above here, it's not going to show because I've only selected the idols that I want them to show, right? We're only showing the idols for your class specific idols. So that is this for this rule. And then afterwards, I have generic idols, which I've already pre-selected for you. So we have in here the small and the humble and stout idols, which are the idols for any class, basically. And I've pre-selected a couple of affixes that you might want to see. Feel free to change these however you like, but I feel like this is pretty good because we're getting health, right? Health you pretty much always want to see. Physical res, like pretty much all the resistances, armor, and critical strike chance, and elemental resist while transformed. So because of the new way that this grid is set up for the idols, you almost always have room for at least one small idol here or one small idol here, or like, you know, you can really play a lot more with your idols, and say for example that you're missing out on like 10% physical res, then you can put a 10% physical res idol somewhere and make up for that with this, right? So these regular idols will show as red like this. And if you have really good idols, so stuff like hybrid health idols, which would be something like this. Actually, no, this one is a increased health and LA res. But anything that has percentage health and that has also resistances, I feel like they should be picked up all the time and at least looked at, because these are the ones that you will most likely want to fit into these extra slots that I just said, like extra space because you're not using certain idols in the new idol slots, right? The new idols grid makes it easy for you to be able to fit those in. So I've got a rule for hybrid health idols and life and resistance idols. If you don't want to see life and resistance idols, you can just check this one out. This is why I've made this into two rules here. Because if you don't want to see the resist ones and you only want to see the hybrid healths, then you can just select this one here. But I like having these like this. So this is it for the quick filter. And then for the advanced filter here, it's exactly the same, but I have more rules per item, right? So I have a rule for my rings, for example. I'll show off this one. The first rule will be only one affix. If I have a ring with the affixes I selected, right? With all of the affixes I selected, um, it will have to be more or equal than tier 5 to show. So anything that has a roll of tier 5 will show. Why I put this rule in is because getting to tier 5 is the hardest craft, and then starting a craft with something that is already tier 5 is going to be pretty good, since you won't have to get that one to tier 5, right? So more chances for you to getting a better item. And then show me anything that has 2 of the affixes I have selected with total affix tier of more than tier 4. So if there's two two affixes and one is tier 2 and the other is tier 2, that is tier 4 or higher, it will show. If it's tier 3 and 1, it will show as well. And anything above that as well will show. If it's only like tier 1 and tier 2, it won't show, because this is more of a strict filter. It's more advanced, but you can play however you like with this. But I found that 4 was a pretty good number, and you don't find too many items. And yeah, it's a pretty good. I think 4 is a pretty good base to start with. And as you get better gear, maybe you want it, like if you're already at like tier 18 gear all across the board, you might want to increase this one to like 5, 6, or even 7 to find better items to start crafting with. But yeah, that's what I think is best. And for my third rule, I have show me any item that has 3 of the selected affixes on the item. So anything that has 3 of your selected affixes will show, and these are absolutely godlike for crafting, because no matter what the tier is, because if you have 3 of the same and you want to say, for example, you just want to remove one, you can always try to use a rune of removal to try to remove the last one, and then you have all 4 of your affixes already on the item. And so yeah, so pretty much this is how it works for this filter. You do this for every single slot, and yeah, the rest is exactly the same. So that is how I would do it for my filters. I will have the templates for you guys. I will now show you how to actually import your filter. So you will have you click on the link I have below, and then it will get you to the paste bin. You want to copy the whole content of it. You want to copy the whole content of it, and then you want to where is it? You want to press this plus arrow here, and you want to do paste clipboard contents. Once you have copied on the clipboard the paste bin, you want to paste the clipboard contents here, and it should give you the template for the filter. Here it says the clipboard does not have a valid loot filter to import. So if you did not copy it properly, you won't be able to click this. So as soon as you click it, it should be good, right? So if I do export filter, copy to clipboard, and then I do create a new filter, paste clipboard content, it will just do this, like quick filter number 1, Venus quick filter template, and confirm. And now you can start changing all of the rules however you want. Select your affixes for every single rule here, and yeah, basically just follow the steps and you'll be good to go with your filter. And of course, the quick filter, you can also do more of these rules if you want to have a filter for more than one class. This is a pretty generic one that you can use, and there's only 20 rules on this one, so you still have room. unlike the advanced filter, which you have 40 rules for already. So it's gonna be hard to fit more than 2 builds into this one. So that is pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments below or message me directly on Discord, and I will be glad to help you guys out. Also, you might want to check me out on Twitch since I stream pretty much all every day. And yeah, that is it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.